Alligators and crocodiles are both quite frightening animals. Not only can the larger members of the species kill large animals, but they can also murder and consume people. The fact that these apex reptiles are stealthy predators who strike when you least expect, it just makes matters worse. Anyone who lives in an area where these organisms are present runs a danger by going for a swim in any body of water. Welcome everyone! In today's video, we're going to look at Gustave the Man-Eating Crocodile killed over 300 villagers. Thankfully, attacks are uncommon overall, but one particular crocodile has developed a reputation for being aggressive. We'll find out about a man-eating crocodile today who has slain 300 people and might still be around. Let's get started. But before we proceed to further video, if you're new to this channel, remember, go ahead and hit the bell icon to subscribe so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. People living around Lake Tanganyika in Burundi have been living in constant fear of a gigantic crocodile known as Gustave for many years. Gustave is notorious for eating humans. It is said that the Nile crocodile has been responsible for the deaths of over 300 people, which has helped it achieve mythical status in the region along the Rusizi River, according to crocodile expert Mark Ganswana, who spoke to Newsweek. Gustave has been known about for some time. The National Geographic has discovered recordings of his attacks on people dating back to 1987. However, herpetologist Patrice Fay was the one who first formally recognized him and gave him a name in the year 2001. With a length of about 20 feet and a weight of approximately 2,000 pounds, Gustave is considered to be one of the largest crocodiles that can be found in Africa, according to Ganswana, who observed the creature. In an interview that took place in 2002 with the BBC, Fay speculated that the crocodile's massive size may have been a contributing factor in his diet, which consisted primarily of human flesh. When compared to the other crocodiles in Burundi, he is 3 times as big as the other crocodiles in Burundi, stated Fay. He is not particularly fast and he is unable to consume the food that other crocodiles in Burundi do, which is primarily fish and small mammals. He pursues sluggish prey, which are more straightforward to catch. Gustave spends the majority of his time on a secluded river island that is located in close proximity to Lake Tanganyika, the second largest lake in eastern Africa. According to Fay, Gustave is at his most dangerous during the time of year when he is traveling along the banks of the Rusizi River to mate. This occurs throughout the mating season. He goes all the way to the regions of Romange and Minago, and while he's there, he eats fishermen and people who are swimming. He is capable of devouring 10, 15, or 20 individuals along the riverside. I followed the trail he traveled on one of his raids one year, and I found that 17 individuals had been devoured between Kanyosha, Minago, as well as Kabizi and Magara. But even for such a monstrous creature, killing 300 people is a significant accomplishment. Ganswana stated that this number was simply an estimate and that it was very difficult to get exact death statistics for such a wild species because of the difficulty of doing so. The veracity of such information is difficult to ascertain in a case like this one. He stated, "Here is just so much data. Remembering that he was obviously a predator in the community of Gatumba is the single most important thing to take away from this." Locals have hypothesized that Gustave kills not just for food, but also for fun, on the basis of the fact that he does not consume the entirety of his prey quite often. Ganswana, on the other hand, stated that this was not the case. They never kill for the thrill of it. Crocodiles have exceptionally low requirements in terms of the total volume of food that they consume. Once it has been killed, the prey item is not completely consumed, with the exception of extremely rare instances. Therefore, the majority of Gustave's prey, whether they were humans or cattle, were found virtually intact, with only a few bits missing, which could explain why people felt it was killing for amusement and not for hunger. Ganswana stated that it was possible that remains from the battle that had been washed up by the river had been incorrectly attributed to Gustave as well. Although Gustave has not been spotted since 2016, Ganswana believes that the monstrous crocodile could still be alive due to the fact that he is over 75 years old. It is impossible to establish that he has passed away. Nobody appears to have boasted about having slain him, and his area is enormous, practically the entirety of Lake Tanganyika and its tributaries. Some authorities believe that Gustave's age could be as high as 100, while others contend that it's more likely to be somewhere around 60 due to the fact that his dental arch is still whole. According to National Geographic, records of his attacks on individuals living on the northeastern beaches of Lake Tanganyika date back to 1987. These attacks were carried out on residents of the area. Many people believe that a monstrous crocodile is responsible for the numerous deaths that have occurred over the years, even if others have pointed the finger at tribal conflict or a serial killer. Although it is highly unlikely that a single crocodile could be responsible for all of the hundreds of deaths that have been attributed to him, eyewitness accounts that describe him share certain characteristics. Witnesses nearly consistently recall a crocodile that was extraordinarily huge for its species and had a scar on the top of its head that was supposed to be a bullet wound. It is reported that the beast bears at least 3 bullet wounds from where hunters have tried to kill him in the past, but none of their attempts were successful. One such group was the scientists that were featured in the documentary titled Capturing the Killer Croc, which was released in 2004. It comes after a rescue expedition that, according to the article, aims to trap this gigantic predator and transport him to safe waters before he kills again. The final attempt made by the crew to capture Gustave using a sophisticated trap and live bait is unsuccessful. The documentary shows that they are attempting to entice him by dangling a live chicken above the water inside of a large cage in the hopes that it will attract him. They decided to switch out the chicken for a live goat after monitoring the trap with an infrared camera for many nights, during which they were unsuccessful in capturing the target animal. When the team finally gets back together the following day, they are utterly disheartened to see that none of their efforts have paid off. After the storm, the goat is nowhere to be found, and the trap is wrecked and floating in the high waters where it was caught. Because the infrared camera was also damaged, they had no way of knowing what became of the trap or the goat after it was destroyed. It's possible that the unknown crocodile snatched the bait and then went on to demolish the trap when it got the chance. The scientists are left disheartened after their last-ditch effort to capture the beast is unsuccessful, and they are forced to abort their mission and return home. Before they made their last try, smaller traps were placed, but none of them were successful. The only crocodiles that were caught were juveniles. That's all for today's video. It's unclear if the dangerous croc is still at large after deftly avoiding capture for years. He was allegedly killed in 2019, but no proof has since surfaced, leading others to believe the enigmatic creature is still in the river. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos from our channel. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon.